Welcome to the maiden edition of NASS This week.
And what he is praying now is
that in this scenario, that he of Kano State
will be given priorities and so that at the end of
Welcome to NASS This week. Follow, share and subscribe to our social media handles at EkoHotBlog. My name is Nkemkanma. On Tuesday, Honorable Nkemkanma moved a motion on the urgent call for inquiry into the cancellation of visas for 264 Nigerian travelers who arrived in Saudi Arabia. Expressed worry that this type of development will hamper relations between the two countries.
An urgent call for inquiry into the circumstances surrounding the cancellation of visas of 264 passengers aboard Air Peace from Nigeria on arrival at Saudi Arabia. This motion is moved by Honorable Nkemkanma, Honorable Olumide Oshoba, Honorable Maki Yelman, Honorable Tolulope Akonde Shadipe. The House informed that Saudi Arabia authorities cancelled the visas of all the 264 passengers airlifted by Nigerian major carrier Air Peace on arrival at Jeddah in Saudi Arabia from Malam Aminu Kano International Airport on 13 November 2023. Aware that all the passengers went through the Advanced Passengers Pre-Screening System, APPS, which was also monitored live by the Saudi Arabia authorities before the flight left Nigeria. Worried that, according to sources at the Nigerian embassy in Jeddah, even the Saudi immigration personnel could not locate who authorized the cancellation of the visas, even when the APPS, which was live between both countries, was concluded and the airline was already airborne to Jeddah. The House knows that upon the intervention of the Nigerian embassy in Saudi, the authorities were said to have reduced the number of passengers that would be returned back to Nigeria from 264 to 170. The House are aware also that Saudi Air has been operating directly from Nigeria to Saudi Arabia and that Air Peace has been receiving high patronage as a Nigerian carrier since it started flight service to the Saudi at relatively lower fares, thereby helping Nigeria to conserve foreign exchange. The House disturbed that stakeholders in the sector have attributed the development to aeropolitics, stating it could be a way to force the Nigerian operator out of the route and raise concerns that Nigerian carriers could actually be forced out of the route unless the government intervenes, probably using the principle of reciprocity between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia, which is still in force. The House deeply worried that the unfortunate event and diplomatic slight on Nigeria happened even when the President of the Federal Government of Nigeria was there. His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is on a state visit to Saudi Arabia. The House thereby resolved to condemn the embarrassing act of the cancellation of visas of 264 Nigerian on arrival at Saudi Arabia by the country's authorities on Monday, 13 November 2023. The House urged the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to, as a matter of urgency, take such diplomatic steps as may be necessary to protect the image of the nation, ensure the full implementation of the BASA, protect Nigerian national carriers flying into Saudi Arabia, and as well protect the Nigerian traveling public. And the House also mandated the Committee on Foreign Affairs, Interior and Pilgrim Affairs to inquire into the immediate and remote circumstances surrounding this cancellation of already granted visas to 264 Nigerian on arrival at Jeddah aboard the Air Peace and to report back within 2 weeks.
The House of Representatives on Wednesday resolved to interface with their counterparts in the Senate towards finding lasting solution and bringing to an end the ongoing industrial action by the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and Trade Union Congress, TUC. Let's take a look.
I commend you, Mr. Speaker, that your decision to step into this National Assembly motivated a whole lot of us to wear our clothes and our badges as parliamentarians to come to the House. Mr. Speaker, you did not come to the House today for the fancy of it. You came because there is a burning issue in Nigeria with the NLC, who has threatened yesterday about going on a massive national strike. And you came for us to dialogue. It will be unworthy to leave this House today without looking into these issues. So, Mr. Speaker, because I want others to contribute to this debate, I want to pray that the National Labour Congress, the NLC, and all the unions in Nigeria, that they should trust us once again, that we will use diplomacy where necessary to engage as usual. They should trust us again to come together to find a lasting solution for their pain. We are not saying they are not right. We are not saying they are wrong, but we are saying we can dialogue. And as their representative, they trusted us to come on board to dialogue. Mr. Speaker, I pray that your office and that of the Senate, that you dialogue with your colleague brother, the President of the Senate, and the leadership of the Senate and that of the House to sit with this aggrieved NLC as soon as possible to enable us find a lasting solution to this, their Hydra-headed need. I so move.
Not implementing those subsidies affect the common man, or it is about issue of misunderstanding between the chairman or president of Labour and a particular state, that something happened between the Labour leaders and another. Mr. Speaker, I have seen it in the four angles of our social media, which is unacceptable to the Parliament, that the demand of the Labour, Mr. Speaker, I say this without any fear of political misrepresentation. Labour's demand is to arrest and prosecute somebody, and allegedly gang leader who have meted perhaps a criminal intention or assault on the president of Labour. Mr. Speaker, I have seen in the social media that most of the demand have equally gone beyond that. It has to do with removal of police officers that were in Imo when some incidences happened between some citizens of Imo State and the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. Should we call strike because of a personal problem between us and some institution of government, or Labour are calling Nigerians to go on strike because of their intention to represent the common man in Nigeria?
I would not want to go into the merit or demerit of the reasons and the actions behind this strike. But I would want to say that as a House of the People, we have decided to step down almost every business of the House today to consider this issue because of its importance to us as a nation and the consequences of allowing this to continue to linger. There is no doubt that our economy is shaky as it stands today, and every meaningful Nigerian, including Labour, is struggling to stabilize the economy.
On Thursday, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu Okezie, rose on the Constitution point of order in Section 88 and 89 of the Constitution, frowns at the service chief for sending representatives instead of coming themselves. Let's take a look.
Are competent to discuss with us. But in this case, based on the provisions of 88 and 89, it has not been satisfied before the House that their top officers, their number one officers, should not appear before the Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I want to move that as it has been the tradition of this House, when we invite chief executives, be it private sector or public sector, they must come in person. I want to pray that we don't break this sacred tradition of our House, lest we be taken for granted. I therefore move that this sectorial engagement be suspended until the leaders of these agencies that we invited, who are our friends, who are working for Nigeria, who we are proud of, until they come to address us, take our questions, explain certain things to us. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Is the chairman defense around? And I mean, is the chairman army around? Deputy chairman army is he around? Out of our navy? Is there? Did you hear what our great leader has just mentioned? Are you in agreement? Do you think it is honorable for this House to entertain debates on the representatives of the chiefs of the armed forces? Are we all in agreement that such an important engagement should be done by their number ones? Please, you can sit down. Aye. Those in support of this motion should say aye. I'm not hearing you very well. Oh. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Our dear brothers, you have heard from the House in an emphatic manner that this House does not encourage, does not accept representation, particularly at this high-level engagement. We thank you for coming. Please convey our message to your service chiefs that we understand the tight schedules they have, and we are willing to make an adjustment to reschedule this engagement to Tuesday next week for them to appear in person. Thank you so much for coming. Wish you all the best. God bless you. 11 a.m. 11 a.m. on Tuesday next week. Thank you so much.
Now the Senate. The bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Institute of Mining and Geosciences Act 2018 and establish the Federal University of Mining and Geosciences, which was sponsored by Senator Dicket Plank of Plateau Central, passed the second reading at the floor of the Senate on Wednesday.
On an act to repeal the Nigerian Institute of Mining and Geosciences Act 2019 and establish a Federal University of Mining and Geosciences, JOS, and for other related matters. That is required at the moment is to upgrade the institute to a degree awarding institution. My highly respected colleagues, the proposed bill will also support efforts aimed at positioning Nigeria's mining sector as a viable sector for diversifying the country's economy away from the excessive dependence on income from crude oil exports.
On Thursday, the Nigerian Senate confirmed the appointment of Dr. Aminu Maida as the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC. This is equal to a request made by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the Senate to confirm Maida for an appointment as the NCC Chairman.
Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Aminu Maida for appointment as Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Aminu Maida is hereby confirmed as the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission.
We've come to the end of today's edition of NASS This Week. Join us same time next week. Bye for now.